Now more than ever, our society is focused on health and fitness. The diet and fitness industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we're more in the know and educated about what our bodies need for long-term health than ever before. But for some of us, there's a fine line between health and fitness and disordered eating. If you've ever felt guilt about straying from your healthy eating plan or exercise regime, or had others comment on the extremes you're willing to go to in order to eat healthily, this video is for you. By the end of this video, you'll be able to identify if you might be struggling from orthorexia. Managing an eating disorder can be a lonely journey. For in-depth information and strategies for managing your eating disorder, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell in the corner so you're notified when I publish a new video every Wednesday. I'm Meredith Mackenzie of Parallel Wellness. I'm a registered clinical counselor, eating disorders therapist, and doctoral graduate student. In my work with hundreds of clients with eating disorders, I've helped them to loosen the grips of their eating disorder so they can live fulfilling lives with freedom from food and compensatory behaviors. Now it's your turn. Before we jump into the video, I want to provide a disclaimer. While I am a registered clinical counselor and I work with eating disorder clients in my private practice, the information in this video is for informational and educational purposes only. If you are concerned that you might be struggling with an eating disorder, please reach out to a medical physician, therapist, or registered dietitian who specializes in treatment of eating disorders. This is the third video in my orthorexia series. I shared in a previous video about how orthorexia came to be distinguished from anorexia nervosa, and you can watch that video here. In that video, I discussed how orthorexia is a disordered eating pattern. In this video, I discussed how orthorexia is a disordered eating pattern that's characterized by clean eating or pure foods to the point where the person becomes overcome by focusing on eating in this way and slips into more disordered eating patterns. But while many people are exploring new ways of making nutritious eating and consistent exercise a part of their everyday lives, when do these behaviors cross the line and become more disordered? And you might even be asking yourself these same questions about your own eating and exercise patterns. It can almost sound like an oxymoron that eating healthy and living healthy can actually become unhealthy. As we go through this video, please take a moment to sit and reflect on your own eating behaviors and exercise behaviors and determine if any of these points ring true for you. If maybe there is something in your eating or exercise patterns that you should be concerned about. And if through watching this video, you develop a concern for yourself, I highly encourage you to reach out to a professional, a medical doctor, a therapist, or a dietitian who specializes in eating disorder treatment so that you can get some help. I by no means with this video intend to vilify anyone's way of eating or anything that they're struggling with. I really just want to provide information that helps you reflect on yourself and get the help that you need if that's possible. At the core of it, orthorexia is incredibly health focused, and this includes eating specific food groups or avoiding specific food groups that may impact a person's health. And typically this goes beyond balanced healthy eating. It's really an extreme end of eating in a healthy way. For some people, this might mean avoiding animal products or avoiding sugars and fats, processed foods, foods with dyes in them, or anything that might have been grown with pesticides. And I'm gonna say this now, and I really hope that this idea kind of carries out throughout the video, that again, I'm not vilifying any way of eating. I don't wanna say that people who eat vegan are unhealthy or that they have orthorexia. It's not about what people are eating, but it's the mindset and how it impacts you on an emotional level when you deviate from this, or if you feel that rigidity and strictness in your eating that it causes you distress. So it's not a what, it's a how issue. So please take that and carry it through the rest of the video, because some of these points that I'm making might be offensive to some people watching, and that's not my intention. Another sign or symptom of orthorexia is really focusing on the health outcomes of eating specific foods and becoming hyper-focused on trying to avoid things like asthma or allergies or gastrointestinal problems. Oftentimes, this can look like people being very focused on food allergies without having any concrete evidence that they genuinely suffer a food allergy. And this can result with people cutting out large varieties of food from their diet in order to avoid these medical risks, but they haven't been substantiated or they haven't been confirmed by a medical doctor. Some people who struggle with orthorexia also become very focused on consuming supplements in order to get adequate nutrients and vitamins and minerals. For someone who's really struggling, that might mean that they have a big regime of taking different supplements, or they're spending a lot of money on acquiring these supplements or doing vitamin IV drips to the point that it's really causing a lot of pressure in their lives or taking up a lot of time. And for anyone struggling with this, it might be really hard for you to hear information that's contrary to this when someone says, but you know that you're getting a lot of vitamins and nutrients from the food that you're eating. Are you sure you need all those supplements? And if you're noticing yourself becoming defensive about this or feeling really frustrated by this, that might be something to consider. Another sign or symptom of orthorexia is eliminating the foods from your diet to the extreme that perhaps you're only eating a handful of foods. So you're eating the same things consistently over and over again because you're thinking that you should not be eating XYZ other foods and nutrients. This can sometimes happen, and I've seen this happen in my practice at times, where a client has gone in to see another professional where they're concerned that they might have a food allergy or there's something, upsetting their digestion or causing some other medical issue. And they do an elimination diet, and maybe that's good and well for that time period, but they continue this elimination diet on for weeks or months to the point that they're feeling fearful about eating some of those foods that they've eliminated. And again, I want to bring the focus back to that fear that they feel or the discomfort that they feel with eating some of those foods that they're not allowed to, that those things are not good for them. When, only eating 10 items perhaps and only allowing yourself to have a very small limited number of foods actually impacts a person's nutrition because they're not getting adequate nutrients then. Similar to other eating disorders, orthorexia is also characterized by thinking about food, being preoccupied with food, what you're going to get, where you're going to get it, what quality it is, and when you're going to eat it and prepare it. This can lead to a lot of restrictions on your daily schedule because it's sometimes harder to bring these foods with you. So you have to do a lot of meal preparation at home or dining in at home. It can also be hard to find these foods out at a restaurant. So perhaps you're then not meeting your friends for dinner to celebrate somebody's birthday, or you don't want to go visit your aunt because she's not cooking in that way. So there are a lot of restrictions within orthorexia that can cause a person's schedule to revolve around food and when they're eating. Another possible sign or symptom of orthorexia is obsessive meal planning. And again, this is a tricky one because many dietitians and nutritionists recommend that meal prepping is a great way to help yourself eat in a nutrition way on a consistent basis. And where orthorexia and disordered eating fits in is how much time meal prepping takes, or how it needs to happen. It must happen in order for you to feel healthy or to feel good about yourself. And not being able to stray from this, to feel that rigid restriction on meal preparation. Along with this can come fears about how your food is prepared. Is the kitchen clean? Are they using the correct products to clean the kitchen? And this is where we can hear symptoms of orthorexia feeling very similar to other anxiety disorders, where people are concerned about cleanliness and health. And that's where these other disorders are similar to orthorexia in some ways. For some people, it even goes to the extreme of avoiding food that other people prepare or bring for you because you want to have that ultimate control over where your food is coming from and what you're putting in your body. Now, so far in this video, have you noticed any symptoms that I may be missing or things that you're really curious about? Maybe for yourself or maybe for somebody that you're concerned about in your life who you think might be struggling with orthorexia. Comment down below and let me know what you think these signs and symptoms might be. Now, we've talked about some of the behaviors that are associated with orthorexia, but emotions and how you feel about yourself are another big part of disordered eating. So another sign or symptom of orthorexia is feeling extreme amounts of guilt or shame for eating anything that deviates from your specific meal plan, or eating something that is not allowed or not good or not healthy or not clean. Really pay attention to the language that you're using with these foods, and if you've labeled something negatively and then you consume it, how do you feel when that happens? Are you devastated? Do you feel totally guilty about it? Or do you beat yourself up and tell yourself that you should have done better and you messed up and it's not good enough? On the flip side, another symptom is feeling a lot of power and feeling good about yourself and really uplifted when you do eat the foods that are on your allowed list or the clean list or the healthy list. Any kind of extremes in these emotions associated with food is a red flag for disordered eating. As I mentioned before, orthorexia can cause a lot of restrictions on a person's life. So another sign might be if you find yourself refusing to go out to enjoy special events with people, to go out to restaurants, because this food is prepared by other people, and you can't control whether or not your good foods are going to be included in that meal for the evening. So it's easier just not to go out. However, that leads you to isolating yourself from special events because so often food is associated with parties and celebrations and get-togethers. So you'll find yourself pulling back more or not accepting invitations to go out and be with friends or to go to people's homes. Now, this is one that people might not talk about very often, but another sign of orthorexia might be the critical voice that you notice yourself having when you look at other people and how they choose to eat. You might find yourself thinking, well, they shouldn't be eating that way. That's not healthy for them. Or you might find yourself trying to convince them to be eating more like you because you're really worried about them or you think that they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. And I think this is a really challenging variable within our society where we do really celebrate health and fitness and taking care of our bodies. However, when it gets to this extreme of orthorexia and it's really gone to one whole side of the spectrum of healthy eating to the point of extremity, it's not healthy. And it's not healthy to be recommending to other people that they be eating in this way as well. And the final sign and symptom that I want to share with you about orthorexia really comes down to where do you find your happiness in life. If you're finding that you're feeling incredibly fulfilled and uplifted and happy about eating in a virtuous way, eating in the way orthorexia has prescribed for you, but you're losing interest in the other things that you'd love to do before, and it's really pulling you away from some of those things that did bring you joy in the past, that's another red flag of having an eating disorder and having orthorexia. So that's a pretty comprehensive list of some signs and symptoms of orthorexia. And I hope through watching this video, you've had the opportunity to do some self-reflection and think about your own eating and exercise behaviors and to consider whether or not some of the things you're doing might be considered disordered eating. I invite you to comment in the comment section down below about your thoughts on this video. I know it's a controversial topic, and I really hope that in talking about these things, you don't feel attacked or that I'm vilifying the way you're eating. I do 100% believe that it's possible to be following specific meal plans and have it not become disordered. And at the same time, there are people that are really struggling with their eating and those feelings of guilt and shame that they're experiencing. And I want to provide a space for you if that's how you're feeling about this. Now, if you're looking to get started on your eating disorder journey, I've created a mindful eating log. And this is a tool that I use in my practice with clients all the time. So if you're interested in getting a copy for yourself, I provided a link in the description box down below where you can get your own copy. If you've liked this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And share this video with anyone you think would benefit from learning more about eating disorders or orthorexia. I look forward to seeing you in the next video on Wednesday.